The Los Angeles Lakers are no longer just a basketball team. They are a $12.5 billion corporate asset, the highest valuation in NBA history. And before the new board of directors even takes their seats, they have a $475 million question to answer. What exactly is the ROI on Luka Doncic? He's 27. He's operating under a max contract, and he is inheriting a roster built on financial gambles. The ownership flipped. The front office scrambled, but the corporate expectation remains the same. Produce a championship or prepare for a liquidation. On August 12th, the corporate takeover became official. Former Disney CEO Bob Iger and Josh Kushner agreed to acquire the Lakers for $12.5 billion.
What's going on, everyone? So, Bob Iger earlier today ended up purchasing, with Josh Kushner, the Lakers, right? The Los Angeles Lakers for $12.5 billion. The former Walt Disney Company CEO said he initially sought a different NBA venture. So he recently spoke out and talked to Kobe Price about the acquisition, about picking up.
Mark Walter's 14-month ownership stint is over. He bought the team for $10 billion. He sold it a year later for a $2.5 billion valuation jump, but the actual profit is lower after fees, debt servicing, and taxes. Still, it's one of the quickest flips in sports history. Walter treated the most iconic franchise in basketball like a distressed asset in a housing boom. He got his margin and walked away. The franchise is now controlled by a group that already had a seat at the table, but the highest paid employee on the payroll, Luka Doncic, wasn't consulted. In the NBA, superstars usually dictate terms, but in Los Angeles, the corporate machine moves without asking for permission. Here's something the league office isn't talking about. Bob Iger still has ties to ESPN, the same network that broadcasts Lakers games and shapes the national narrative around LeBron, Luka, and every star in between. That's not a conflict yet, but it's a connection worth watching. When the news broke, Luka posted a carefully crafted statement on social media. "Being a Laker means everything to me. I look forward to meeting Josh and Bob to build something special." It's a perfect PR statement, authored by an agency, designed to keep the new bosses happy. But let's look at the reality. This is Luka's third ownership group since entering the league. Mark Cuban cashed out. Mark Walter flipped the team. Now Iger and Kushner step in. Doncic has had more owners than playoff series wins in LA. But he isn't asking for a trade. He is executing a hostile takeover of the locker room. Luka says he's committed, but here's the cold truth. His contract doesn't have a no-trade clause. The new owners could move him tomorrow if they wanted to. That's not a threat. It's just the business of basketball, and Luka knows it. While the front office transitions, Luka is running his own corporate retreat, a 4-day minicamp in Slovenia, paid for entirely out of his own pocket.
The whole gang is packing up the suitcases, and they're all going to Slovenia, courtesy of Luka Doncic. That's the big news on Wednesday afternoon. Dave McMenamin, among other people, Dan Wakey writing about it as well. Dave tweeted out, Luka Doncic is hosting the entire Los Angeles Lakers roster in Slovenia for a 4-day minicamp in August. A source close to the Lakers told ESPN.
Private flights, hotels, facility rentals. 15 of the 17 players under contract are attending. The two-way players are unable to travel internationally due to contract restrictions. Cameron Carr isn't at the minicamp, but the reason isn't a rookie orientation. That already happened in early August. Carr is working individually with the Lakers player development staff instead. For everyone else, this isn't just a vacation. This is Luka establishing a localized hierarchy. And here's what that looks like financially. A private Boeing 757 from LA to Slovenia, roughly $300,000. Hotels for 40 people over 4 nights, about $120,000. Facility rentals, meals and logistics, another $50,000. All in, Luka is spending close to $500,000 out of his own pocket. That's not just leadership, that's investment. The Lakers haven't had a single player dictate the off-court culture like this since LeBron James. Doncic isn't waiting for the new owners to set the tone. He's setting it himself. But culture doesn't win playoff series against drop coverage. Roster construction does. The front office executed a massive financial restructuring this summer. They acquired Walker Kessler in a sign and trade. 4 years. $130 million. But here's the fine print. Only $45 million is guaranteed in the final 2 years. That's a team-friendly structure that gives the Lakers an escape route if things don't work out. Smart money moves. They added Quentin Grimes for point-of-attack defense, Jaden Hardy and Colin Sexton for secondary shot creation, Zaire Williams, Matisse Thybulle, Kevon Looney, and they locked down Austin Reaves on a 4-year, $185 million extension. Look at the ledger. Doncic, Reaves, Kessler. That is approximately $475 million committed to 3 players. This isn't just a roster. It's a second-apron nightmare waiting to happen if the chemistry fails. But the front office did something uncharacteristically smart. They drafted for established synergy. Reaves and Kessler on Team USA, Grimes and Hardy with Luka in Dallas, Williams and LaRavia in Memphis. They didn't just buy talent. They bought pre-existing data sets. ESPN's Kendrick Perkins immediately went on national television and claimed the Lakers will have, quote, one of the best offensive teams in the league. Television takes don't account for defensive rotation metrics. The reality in the Western Conference is brutal. Oklahoma City, San Antonio, Denver, Minnesota. You don't beat elite offensive systems just by scoring. You beat them by surviving the minutes when your superstar sits. And the schedule makers didn't do them any favors. On Christmas Day, LeBron James returns to Los Angeles in a 76ers uniform. It's a television ratings dream. But for Luka, it's a structural stress test. He isn't just playing against a former Laker. He is playing against the ghost of the previous administration. Here is the clinical truth. The Iger and Kushner group didn't spend $12.5 billion to lose in the second round. The Lakers sacrificed future draft capital and all remaining cap flexibility to build this specific roster. Luka is 27. Reaves is 27. Kessler is 24. The timeline is perfectly aligned. But in the modern NBA, windows close in 24 months. If this core produces a deep playoff run, the corporate takeover is validated. If they flame out, this front office will be forced to execute a fire sale to avoid repeating repeater tax penalties. There are no Cinderella stories in Los Angeles, only return on investment. The minicamp in Slovenia proves the intent is there. The mathematics of the roster prove the talent is there. But the Western Conference doesn't care about your luxury tax bill. The front office placed a $500 million bet on Luka Doncic becoming the ultimate system. Now, we find out if that system can actually clear an audit.